Hey guys, welcome to Vocab Through Practice, where we are going to be learning some new vocabulary, and later in the day you can use this vocabulary together with me. You have some time until the evening to learn what all these words mean, and then we're going to be practicing using some examples and also some of your own creativity. We are now going to be talking about some vocabulary for work and study. These two topics are some of the most popular for Task 1, for speaking, Part 1. They are usually the first topics that you get, and you usually start the test with the question of, do you work or are you a student right now? So this is very important vocabulary for you to learn. Let's start with the first phrase, which consists of several words. Considerable amount of time. Usually this comes from the word considerable, which means important or needing to be considered, which means you need to think about it, right? And so if you need to think about some amount of time, that means that it is an important amount of time. It is enough for you to consider it, which is why considerable amount of time means important amount of time. Next is software company. This is any kind of company that creates technology or creates computer science stuff. For example, Google, Yandex, Bing, Yahoo, all these companies are creating software technology. That is why they are software companies. Also, you can say software engineer, which is actually the person who creates software. For example, some kind of coder. That is a software engineer. Next is the word requirement. Requirement is similar to the word need, or require specifically is a synonym of the word need, but requirements is not the same as needs. Requirements means something that a company or a university or any kind of school, for example, needs in order to take you, right? For example, your documents, the fact that you took some kind of test, or your grades. All that information is part of the requirements. So requirements and needs are similar, but also at the same time a little bit different. Next is teamwork or team working. This is a very important collocation for you to know. For Part 1, Part 2, Part 3, generally this is a very good collocation to use. I think you know generally what it means, but specifically teamwork is about having 2 or 3 or any amount of people working together on some kind of task. So we call that teamwork. Next is the word approach. This word has two meanings. One word is physical and one word is more metaphorical, or I guess general. The physical meaning is like if you have some kind of door or you have some kind of pathway or place, and the way that you get to the pathway is the approach. So if you have like a staircase up to your front door to your house, that's called the approach. Now the metaphorical meaning is going to be about the way that you do something. So for example, the methodology. Methodology and approach are basically synonyms. So that's kind of, I think, enough information for you to understand. Methodology, way to do something, this is the approach. Next is the word subordinates. Subordinates comes from the word subordinate, and in general, all this means somebody that is below you or somebody that you are in charge of. So for example, if you have a company, right, and you have the people at that company who are your workers, you are their boss. You're not necessarily the boss of the company, but just their boss. They are your subordinates. They are the people that are below you and that work for you. Next is the word collaborate. Collaborate means to work together. Synonyms of this word would be cooperate or teamwork. Of course, that is also a synonym. Next is the word instances. This is a classic IELTS synonym, very good word. Synonym of the word example. Direct, so you can use this in a lot of situations. For instance is a synonym of the phrase for example. So they are very similar. You can use them in all the same situations. Next is going to be the word tend to. Tend to basically means to regularly do something or to have the habit of doing something regularly. So for example, I tend to hang out with my friends on Sundays. This means I usually hang out with my friends on Sundays. Basically, that is the meaning. And lastly is the word reviews. This comes from the word review, which means to give some kind of opinion on something. There's different examples of this, how this word can be used, but mainly it means to give your opinion on something. So that's about it. In the next video, we are going to be learning how to use specifically these words. So learn them by then, and I hope to see you guys there. Bye.